Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a longer one, so hang on to your seats. It's Pride Month, and me and my friends decided to do something special. A Rainbow J-Passion collab. Check out all the dolls on Instagram and YouTube. Keep a lookout for Bohopunkz, Telley Dollies, BlurredColors Art, Stitchwyck Creations, ElectricbunnyVT, cute.n.cursed, Rainstorm Creations, nelumbodolls, and our lovely host DollyAnna. I chose to go with Hatoko fashion. I didn't know much about Japanese fashion trends except a little bit about decorative. The Hatoko was quite colorful. It uses primary and rainbow colors. For my research, I noticed the makeup is a bit toned down and more natural, with pretty stickers and some face painting added, and more natural hair colors. There's a fair amount of colors anyway, and hair accessories, while also adding a lot of clothing layering. So with that in mind, I came up with this sketch. I didn't color the sketch. I didn't know at the time what colors and patterns I'd be using, so I thought it better to just get the design down and worry about that later. I focused instead on giving her lots of layers and fabrics and a double bund crimped hairstyle. Let's get started. I chose a Gen 3 core Cleo doll this time. I wanted to work on her for ages, but couldn't justify the purchase. Well, here's the perfect excuse. I think she's very pretty as is, but we got a lot of work to do. First things first is strip her of everything. You'll notice she has a mummy wrap texture on her arm, leg, and hand. Originally, I was going to sand off all of it, but most of her will be covered and I didn't find it necessary, so I just sanded down her hand. Sadly, this does change skin tone, but we can paint it to match again. Or, close. I quickly whipped up some paint. I know it looks way too light, wet, but when it dries it matches a lot better. I then sealed it in. And then I remembered I wanted to give her rainbow nails. So much for the sealant. Instead of drafting my own patterns like I usually do, I went ahead and ripped these from some factory clothing. It'll save us some time later. I then dug out my most colorful and patterned fabrics, and my giant box of beads that has traveled with me since I was about 6 years old. First up is the undershirt. Not sure why I decided to make it a crop top, but here we are. I chose a rainbow Unilama fabric and this nondescript fabric from an old book cover. If you see some licensed characters on it, no you don't. I then whipped up a t-shirt to layer over top by destroying a cushion I'd made some years ago for my wrist. Now came the complicated pile that would become a hoodie. I was not only going to be Frankensteining together many colors and patterns, but I wanted to add a lining as well out of little bits of fleece. And these are all the pieces. Can't tell you how happy I was to get a full donut and smiley face on the hood piece. It was like a win. I decided not to line the sleeves because that's way more difficult on a doll-sized garment than a person-sized one. I've just got to join all this together now. First thing is to sew a dart both in the hood and in the lining. Then place them right sides together and sew around the 3 sides. Once that's done, trim the excess and clip the curve so that it'll lay flatter. Then turn right sides out. I was asked to include more sewing steps in my videos, so I hope you're enjoying this bit. Now the pattern has a point to cut on the fold, but I'm using different colored pieces that I cut apart, so now I have to sew that seam together. Now to attach the sleeves to the shoulders. This is finicky, so take your time. I then finish the edges with more of the hood fabric to have it match and added tiny false pockets. Now to sew up the side seams. I then attach the hood. I find out at this point that I cut it a bit wrong, so it won't go over her head. Oh well, her hair's too big for that anyway. At this point, feel free to decorate however you want to. I ended up adding some beads like drawstrings and a zipper. Now the tops are nice, but this girl needs some leggings. I cut more of the hood fabric. Once the crotch seam is joined, I left some room for her booty and folded the legs in half and sewed up the inseam. Now my design calls for frayed cuffs. Y'all know how much I love fraying fabric by now, so let's attack these leggings with the needle. It doesn't fray as easy as satin, but I got the job done. Look how tight these are. I'm not sure where I went wrong in cutting, but I tried to brute force it anyway. Luckily this fabric is very stretchy, so somehow this worked. I then made some regular socks, out of socks I never worn. After putting them on, you're not even going to be able to see them, but we know they're there, so it's fine. I found this ribbon of rainbow tulle and thought it would be perfect for her skirt. Now my sketch calls for a 3-tiered skirt, but I ended up not doing that. I made a tutu instead. I thought it was cuter. Just make sure to put a ribbon or something to catch the crotch, or your doll will be wearing it around her chest soon enough. So far, this is her outfit. Ugh, shoes! Does anyone actually like making shoes? I'm terrible at it. Either way, I masked off her feet with the socks on and got out the polymer clay. If you want to see someone who is amazing at clay shoes, go watch my friend DollyAnna. She's awesome. Okay, then not the worst I've done. Let's not forget to give her phone a massive charm. I then put it on a chain of beads and hung it around her neck. Time to remove her hair. It's honestly really pretty, so I kept it. I can make a short wig or something out of it someday. Into the salvage hair bag it goes. wanted to show you guys a small oopsie on my part. I must not have let the head soak long enough because I broke one of the wings on the neck peg. But the other's intact, so I think we'll be okay. Also, the beads came off her hoodie. I had to ring-string them, and then glue them on, so that they didn't fall again. After scraping out her hair plugs, I removed all her factory paint with 100% acetone. It's a little stubborn, I had to scrape with a toothpick at points. I decided to use these 3 colors for her hair. I actually ran out of the chocolate kiss, so I had to order more. But the store was out too, so I bought some frappe and gave her a 2-tone hairstyle. After rerouting and gluing her hair super bouncy and fun to play with, I sectioned off the bangs from the rest and then bound it up in preparation for the face-up. Finally, what you all been waiting for, the face-up! I started by sketching out her eyes in brown. Don't worry if this takes 2 tries, I already did this face about 3 times. I then sketched on her stickers and face paint. I was feeling confident, so I went ahead and scratched on her eyebrows instead of using pastels like I normally would. After sketching on the face, I realized I forgot to blush her. I know it looks harsh, but the Mr. Super Clear will dull down the colors a lot. I also decided to give her pink lips to add more color. So colors don't build quickly on darker skin tones, which is something I should have remembered from when I made Celia, or Coravante, or Gilvars, but I didn't, so I just kept adding more pencils hoping they would saturate. Eventually I gave in and broke out my acrylic paint. It's okay if you make a mistake. Just keep some water and a paper towel nearby to clean it up quickly. I filled in her irises, making sure to add some orange so that the browns didn't look too flat. I then filled in her lips and added some wrinkles for depth. Next, I filled in her face paint and stickers. I decided to go with the pansexual color scheme for the stripes on her nose as a nod to my girlfriend. This time, I remembered to put white down before adding yellow to preserve the brightness and opacity. I broke out the pastels again to do some more shading in her eyes and lips. Then with black paint, I painted on her eyeliner and lashes, very carefully. This is very sped up. It took me forever to do this. And her pupils. And her catch lights. Afterwards, I glossed her eyes and lips. I know usually you only do the lips because of photos, but I really like it the way it looks on the eyes. Time to unmask her hair. I can't wait to see the face and the hair together. Yes! She's so cute! Just gotta trim her bangs so we can see her better. With some careful squeezing at her temples and some pushing, I got her head back on without breaking anything. Alright, so for her buns, I cut them up a bit, that held it in place with the colored elastic. After that, I wrapped it frontwards over a short pencil and added another elastic, then wrapped it back over the pencil and fastened it with final elastic. For a much better tutorial, go check the out Delightful Ruby video. Then just repeat on the other side. I found these mini pipe cleaners and thought they'd be good decorations. Then I add these tiny neon buttons to the pipe cleaner. And my finger. Repeatedly. Her earrings are just beads put on pins. Now, this is a really bad angle, I'm sorry, but what I'm doing is tying a thread around a hank of her hair. And then threaded that thread through a needle, and then fed that needle through a bead, and pulled it onto the hank. This worked 60% of the time. Other times, like this one, I had to fish the hair out of the bead with a needle. I went along and got better at it, and stopped having this problem. Now, I am not a wire wrapper. I don't know what I'm doing, but I tried as hard as I could. I wanted to use my blue wire, but I failed so many times that I ran out, so I ended up with green glasses. After much deliberating, me and my friends agreed she'd need a cupcake bag. So I cut these shapes and then glued cotton fabric to them. I cut them out, leaving a seam allowance, and then cut little tabs out of that before gluing those down. Deciding I didn't like how the glue showed through the cotton, I went ahead and used more of the hoodie fabric to cover it. I used an iridescent lavender vinyl to cover the back of the pieces. I bought some of these for another project that y'all will be seeing sometime soon, and ended up not needing it. For the frosting, I used a white pleather. I then put the pieces together like this. I added details with puffy paint. And then sprinkled seed beads down like rain, like salt rain. Attach a bead chain, and the bag is done. And with that, she's finished. Say hello to Akari. Her name means Bright, which I thought was fitting. I had a lot of fun with this custom, but it was also a stressful time because I had several customs I had to do in that time frame. Hence the extremely messy work table. But I had a great time learning about the fashion, and I had a great time comparing photos with my friends and discussing our work. It was an awesome time, and I really hope we can do more together soon. Akari will be available on my Etsy shop, and on my Mercari shop. It's a little bit cheaper on Mercari, so check her out there, along with the others. And with that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want. And I'll see you all soon with another collab. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.